96.5 The Fox, the new evolution of classic rock, free beer, hot wings every weekday morning. And coming up July 28th, an absolutely incredible show coming to Bismarck. Queen, It's a Kind of Magic, going to be at the Belle Mehus Auditorium. Tickets are on sale right now. The show just a few weeks away, and joined on the phone today by Giles Taylor, who portrays Freddie Mercury in this show. And Giles, it's my understanding that you guys are kind of prepping right now for the tour.
Hey, good morning. Yes, we are. We're actually just in the middle of you were lucky you caught us well. We were about to start rehearsing another song there, so your timing was perfect.
So when this production got going, how did you get approached about portraying Freddie Mercury, the iconic frontman of Queen?
Basically, the company Showtime Australia, which is based in Australia, had worldwide auditions for the part, as it did for all of the characters in the show. And they basically wanted to find someone who could play piano and who could also portray the part of Freddie. I've been doing some roles in the West End, so the vocal thing wasn't a problem for me. And I also played piano. I started playing piano when I was 5. So they actually approached me and asked me if I would like to audition for the part, which of course I said yes. And it was a lengthy process. All in, it was probably about 8 months, and there was probably about 5 or 6 auditions in total. But yes, I've actually got the part, which is great.
Now, were you a Queen fan before you tried out for the part?
Yes, I'm in my mid-30s, so of course my father had greatest hits of Queen, and it was constantly played when I was getting driven to school. So from an early age, all the songs have been drilled into my head. There's actually songs by Queen that I didn't even know that I knew. So yes, I'm definitely a younger fan from a young age.
So being a fan, how does it feel that you get to go and kind of recreate the magic that Freddie had on stage for these groups of fans who probably never thought they'd get the chance to see him again?
It's wonderful. Like you said, being a fan makes it all the more amazing. It's nice to portray someone that you have a high level of respect for. So that in itself is good. Also, for me personally, it's a wonderful challenge. Freddie Mercury is probably one of the greatest classic rock singers of all time. So it's good for me. It's good to push my limits, both vocally and on the piano. And the show itself and the production company are wonderful. They put a lot of time and effort into recreating characters as accurately as they can, which I think we've really achieved here. It's great.
And I know when people hear Queen, It's a Kind of Magic is coming to town, they probably think it's more of a musical, but it's not. You're basically recreating the shows that people may have seen back in the 70s and 80s.
Yes, I mean, we have nothing to do with We Will Rock You, which is the Queen musical that's in the West End, nor have I ever played a part in that. What we do is we try and recreate the live aspect of basically going to see a Queen show. So we focus on the sort of predominantly the 80s era, although we do chuck in some of the later songs and also some of the earlier ones from the 70s. But costume-wise and production-wise, it's based around all the 80s stuff. And it is effectively, like you say, being able to go and see a Queen concert, which of course you can't. I appreciate that the Queen are now touring with Adam Lambert, but it's a completely different thing. We're trying to take people back to the 80s to see Queen as they were in their heyday.
And the great thing about this show is you guys actually have support from some people that were very, very close to Freddie, including Peter Freestone, who was Freddie's assistant, traveled the world with him. He's basically given his stamp of approval on this show.
Yes, we have a wonderful production team. We have Johnny Van Grinsen, who produces all of our shows, who is the head of Showtime Australia. And then, of course, for this specific show, we have a wonderful young Czech director who's come over just to work on aspects of the show, predominantly like the choreography side of things, and to tie that into the music side. And, of course, as you said, the aforementioned Peter Freestone, who is on our production team. And to have someone like that who spent so much time with Freddie is integral if you're going to make someone, or if you're trying to recreate someone, to have someone that was that close to the original person, obviously in this case Freddie, then it's really nice to have all those little nuances and little bits of personality added when you're on stage, which you can only get from someone like Peter Freestone. So for him to be happy to come on board and to give his input is absolutely incredible.
So when you walk on stage for the first time for this show, how do people react when they see you?
I think with tribute acts, the major thing is that people visually see who they're expecting to see. So first, when I run on stage, they want to see a Freddie. So visually it has to be, I have to look like Freddie. So we spend a lot of time in makeup and stuff like that, making sure that visually I look like Freddie. Then for the few seconds that that's sunk in, then obviously I have to sound like him. That's the next thing that people are expecting. So obviously that's where all the rehearsal and stuff comes into it. And it's not just the vocal aspects as well. It's all the movements and the persona and the way that you talk to the crowd, which again is why it's nice to have Peter Freestone on board, because otherwise you can't achieve these things 100%.
Again, it's coming to town July 28th. Queen, It's a Kind of Magic, joined on the phone by Giles Taylor, who portrays Freddie Mercury. Now, Giles, you've been onto the road with this for a little bit now. What is your favorite tune to sing when you're on stage with Queen?
My favorite tune to sing, crikey. There's so many good hits. That's a very hard question. I think because I have a passion for playing piano as well, and also belting out these tunes. I mean, I really do have to say Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, effectively, it's 3 tunes in one. It has fantastic piano lines and unbelievable vocal lines. So it's just an amazing tune. I mean, that's why it's as big as it is, and it's just amazing to perform as it is for the average person to listen to. It really is.
So when we come to the show on July 28th, we can expect the whole Queen experience, right?
Yes, you can.
It's going to be a great night, July 28th. Tickets on sale right now. Make sure you get them. We'll have some to give away as we get closer to the show as well. Queen, It's a Kind of Magic, Giles Taylor, also known as Freddie Mercury, on stage. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat, and we'll see you on the 28th.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.